Welcome to White Shoulders, Boar, Goats, and Farmstead. So for the last 2 Saturdays, I have hauled hay and moved hay until I can't move hay anymore. I ended up hauling in 129 bales of straight brome that is horse quality and is really nice hay, but it is super heavy. So this Saturday, I decided that I would go to a goat show because my friend Helen was going to show her goats for the very first time, and I wanted to see. So it was a 3-hour drive over to the fairgrounds where I went in Mexico, Missouri. It was a long drive, but I had fun. Well, good morning. I am headed to a goat show. And I thought I'd take you guys with me because, we haven't done a whole lot of stuff about goats here lately. So this is the first show that I will go to by myself. And this is the first show for my friend Helen, who is showing today. And that's why I'm going. So I just thought that it'd be really neat to watch this. It's going to be a small show, so it's only got like 40 entries. But that's okay. Give Helen some experience. Sit
and wait, because I know there's like 5 of them in this class. Our first show! Yay!
Okay, so this is the 3 to 6 month old percentage doe class. There are 5 entries, and you're going to notice as they are walking in the gate here, the judge has actually started judging them. They have different routines that each judge does as they judge the group. You'll notice that he's going to touch them several times to check them over, and then he'll make his cuts, and then he'll tell you their places, and then he'll tell you why he chose them, and he'll give you strengths and weaknesses of each one. This is just how this process is done. I tried to get the best angles possible for this. It is really hard with the lighting and the corral panels to video through, but I did my best, and I hope that you guys can enjoy this and understand a little bit more of what the goat show world is like. I didn't do any behind the scenes prep work. There is a lot of prep work to this. There's a lot of leading and teaching them how to stand and behave themselves. You're going to see some goats jumping around and going crazy. That's just part of it. This would be like a first class for your young kids to be in.
Our judge for the first show is Kyle Tate. He is from Mountain Grove, Missouri. He grew up on a large Angus and boar operation, graduated from Oklahoma State with a Bachelor of Science in Animal Science Biotechnology. He is currently running 40 registered shows and other animals on the farm.
Well, we get rolling this morning with one that's just really powerhouse type of female. She's big footed and it really hits that ground really good and square when you read her through that chest board. Female comes up to a really nice neat chest board. Got a lot of breed character about her head and her front end. Big massive type of female when you get your hands on her in terms of her back shape and her rib. One that you really love when you read and hook the pin, one that's really level. And you want to blow her apart from pin to pin ever so slightly. She wants to narrow up just a little bit in that rear hip. But I think this is a pretty good individual. Go up here and grab that top spot. Come back into a little moderate range type of doe, a little bit more, a little finer bone type of female in reference to our class winner. But I think this is one that's really good in terms of her rib cage design. I think this is one that's really good in terms of her muscle pattern. Again, maybe this one is one you want to pick up in her pin set ever so slightly. But I think this is one that gets around the ring on a great set of feet, making a lot of breed character really tucked up in her chest plate. Those will come in third. It looks really similar, not kind of that those comes out second. One that maybe is a little bit taller in the corner of the shoulder, a little more extended to that front end. When you definitely like a little bit better when you're hitting your pin. This one has much power and greatness from her rack out to her loin edge. Those two does just proceed in this class. Pair of a little bit bigger frame type of females come next. One when you get your hands on this cake neck type of doe. One that you're really impressed by the amount of power that comes into the table. For me, we come into a few more structural issues with this doe. She comes a little more open to her chest board. She comes a little flatter when you're reading her stifle. We want to kind of correct those areas just a little bit, make the pieces kind of blend together a little smoother. And then a little doe come out of her pants. One you really like for the extra frame she brings to the table with some of her contemporaries in this stride. Unfortunately for me, this is one I just have a little bit more issue with in terms of she comes a little flatter in her muscle pattern. She comes a little more off in her pin set. Once you hop in just a little bit on it, picture structurally just a little bit, this is definitely one I could go with a couple of spots higher.
First in that class goes to the rail. Second to Layla Baker. Third to Hugh Baker. Fourth to Helen Rosenberg. And fifth to Stan James. Coming in will also be your senior.
Okay, this is behind the scenes here.
Conclusion of this
This
class
is
we'll have
the
our
senior full
overall
blood class, I believe is what this one was
So
called. Just like before, as soon as they walk into the ring, the judge is judging them. And the judge judges these guys under his interpretation of the breed standard. Every judge is different, so you never get the same judge twice, put it that way. So as soon as they walk in, he's judging them, and then he touches each one of them just like he did in the previous show, and then he makes his cuts, and he tells you who wins, and then he tells you why they won.
just a really nice, complete female that's going to start this class off. Yeah, she is extremely modern in her frame size. I definitely like to change that about her, but that being said, she's got a ton of breed character. She's super deep-sided. There's a lot of power in this female. She holds herself together extremely well. Just a really functional, easy-doing type of doe, and she definitely shows that to us here today. Doe's going to come in second is one that's a little bigger in her type and kind. She's one a little bit longer sided type of female. She do like the teeth size on this doe. She does have a little bit of an advantage to her contemporaries in this class in terms of where she's at her stage of production. You can see she's uttering up and starting to belly down a little bit. And for those reasons, she is starting to draw down a little bit out of the top portion of her skeleton. But you can still handle her and see there's a lot of rib edge in this doe, a lot of hip shape in this doe, and she sets down a really nice big set of feet legs. The little one type of doe comes next. And we got a little power because I do like some things about this female. She does have a little more cycle when that doe walks out here in a second. She's a little bit stouter with footwork and balance is a little bit bigger than that doe come out in a second. This is a female. She doesn't have quite the frame size, doesn't have quite the structural integrity through that shoulder. We'll walk out of here in a second. And then the big long-sided red doe comes out and rounds out our class with the world. Give up a little extra frame she brings to the table in terms of some of the contemporaries in this class. She's really bringing her condition today. But when it runs for me when the ring with her rib cage, when it gets a little flatter in terms of her build in those areas, then it'll scream up and walk out here in front of her. This red doe in motion, she really wants to start to hawk in on us a little bit when we get in behind her. Second, this is one just a little more moderate in her frame size. She doesn't have near the hip structure and stifle depth. And stifle circumference of that doe. That red doe walks out here in front of her. She comes a little.
Okay, so there was 2 shows yesterday. Of course, they had 2 judges, and after the first judge was done, then they went on to their second show. And this is the 3 to 6 month old percentage does with a different judge, and he judges them based on your breed standard and his interpretation of that. So that's what he's doing. He's checking them, and he'll touch every one of them, sometimes a few times. But that's how he makes up his mind to who he thinks is the better of the bunch. And I'm probably not the best person to explain all of this stuff because I've never shown my goats. I know what I like. I know what I look for. I try to go as close to the breed standard as I possibly can, with the exception of the horns on their head, because I just don't like them. Now you're going to see him stay at this doe for quite some time, and what he is doing is he's checking her teat structure, and if it's any the least bit questionable, he's looking for an orifice, and that's all he's looking for right there. If she has too many of them, then she doesn't qualify.
judge for the second show is Nick Hammett. He runs Hammett Show Stock, raises commercial does and wethers. Recently bought a full-blood buck focused on making percentages. He has judged the 2018 National Show and the 2021 National Commercial Doe and Market Show. In 2 days, he is going to make a trip to Thailand to judge their very first boar goat show. Give him a round of applause.
They don't win the class pretty handily, a lot of size and scale, but combines that with a lot of look and mass as well. So a doe that's nice and wide through that chest floor, carries that back into an open rib cage, get around behind her. She's opened up at her pins, carries that down to the ground nicely from a profile. She's fairly long and extended that front end, long and level down that top line, so a pretty complete package to wind up winning this class. A little closer decision between second and third, a pair of does that I think are fairly comparable. I think if the third place doe was maybe a little more relaxed on the chain and gets a little more time on feed, she'll compete with that doe that we got in second. But the doe in second today, she sets up super wide to square the hocks. Then you get around behind her, she's wide through that chest floor, she's clean about that head and neck, long and level down that top line. She's just a little more relaxed out there today. She's a little smoother, neater laid in her shoulder than that doe that winds up in the third hole. The doe in the third hole, you get your hands on her. I think once she gets a little more time on feed, she's going to develop a little more muscle shape and mass probably than the doe that winds up in second. She's a little coarser, the way that neck lays into that shoulder, doesn't set up quite as wide and square at the hocks. When you get around behind her, gets a little narrower to that chest floor when you get up in front of her. Here we come into a doe that's a little taller, more extended, just a little weaker down that top line at times. Want to break behind those shoulders a little bit. Just a doe that needs to be pushed a little harder to really fill her up, develop that muscle tone. Wants to get a little in and close to her hocks. Probably the narrowest through her chest floor as anything out there. Again, another doe that just needs to be pushed.
This little doe is owned by Never Enough Acres, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Christina and her mom, and it was nice to meet both of them in person. They also watch our channel, and they have their own channel as well, so go check them out. So this is Corey. I met him a couple of years ago when I bought Vale from him. He is also one of our YouTube channel watchers, and we're very happy that he watches our channel. Thank you for watching our channel, Corey. It means a great deal.
Nice single entry.
I was also able to meet Corey's wife, Anna. They are both very nice people, and they have helped Helen out tremendously. She's always boasting about them, and I was also able to meet their friend, Anna Gas, super nice lady, and I enjoyed the time that I spent there with all of them.
I think there's some there, she just needs to darken that up a little bit, but no, overall, like, again, I said I like the moderate frame, I like earlier maturity details, and that's what she is. So, has a lot of muscle shape in her, just a pretty nice and clean individual. I think it's close. We got pretty nice does out here. I think there's one that just puts it all together structurally and into a nice package. She's clean and trim in her design, long and extended that front end, clean through that breastplate, level out of her hip. I think her body to bone ratio is probably a little better than the one we're going to use for reserve. This heavy Kate doe here is going to be the champion today. The one right behind her is going to be reserve.
At the conclusion of this class, we will have our overall full-blood doe drive. So if you had a champion or reserve champion junior or yearling, please make sure they are close by the ring so we can bring them straight in.
I start the class with the donuts out here on my right. The donuts are super moderate in her frame size. If you just like her overall stoutness, she's really open in that rib cage. Starts at her forerib, carries it all the way back to her pins, and then down to the ground really nicely. It goes carrying. It takes more condition than she needs to, but we got 3 other does not carrying quite enough condition. But a dough that I think went to class pretty handily. Close precisions here in the middle. I think this heavier cake dough just has a little more condition on her right now, which makes her a little smoother. Neck leans into that shoulder, her shoulders leans into her rib. I like the maternal wedge shape from her profile. She's deeper in her flank than she is in her forerib. Just has a very angular look to her. Has a lot of circumference of bone and a big foot underneath her. Again, a dough that's really green in terms of her condition right now. You put a little tone and touch to that loin. I think she's got more width there. It's just pretty green right now. But as is the dough, it winds up in third. She's long and extended in that neck. Maybe breaks down that top line a little bit. Just not quite the overall mass in terms of her bone circumference. Definitely length of the dough that comes out in second half. But that's a pretty close pair right there. There's a red dough to wind up the class. Again, a dough that's super green and lean in her condition, more in the kind of production shape, which is fine. That's what they ought to be doing at this stage of the game. She's nice and long-sided. Just harder to win a show or even a class in a show when they come in that green, but a dough you appreciate for the length of the side and the extension to her front end. Let's give them a hand. That's also your senior champion.
Congratulations to Corey and Anna Watering. Your doughs are beautiful. Congratulations to my friend Helen for her first show, and I'm so happy that you brought home some ribbons, and I'm glad that you had a good time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And I hope you enjoyed the Goat Show.